For months, South Africans have stood by and witnessed a fraud standoff built between the presidency and institutions of power. Rumors, speculation, and clandestine meetings all circled around one thing, something enormous bubbling beneath the surface. The atmosphere was electric with anticipation, the hum of scandal mounting with each passing week, and now something has burst out into the open, rocking the political establishment to its foundations. In a dramatic and abrupt gesture in the middle of a hot parliamentary session, entrepreneur Bizarre dropped what some are already referring to as the most scathing revelation so far about President Sir Ramaphosa. The House was thrown into an instant uproar, gasps, cries, and cries for order filled the air. What was supposed to be a routine speech soon turned into a political circus that left all members of parliament aghast and all South Africans asking one question: is the Ramaphosa presidency over? Bizarre, herself a polarizing figure in the past, has long been accustomed to being in the news. In the past she has been accused of being opportunistic, ambitious and even cavalier in pursuing justice. But nothing in her history could have readied the country for what she brought to Parliament today. With quiet defiance and a folder of carefully prepared documents, she laid before what she asserts is indisputable proof of Ramaphosa's role in a coordinated cover-up of unlawful financial flows, abuse of power, and obstruction of justice. Her delivery was not hurried, nor was it passion-driven. Rather, she delivered the news in a calm and consistent demeanor that made each bombshell fall like a sledgehammer. The material she brought with her, sealed memos, strings of emails, audio recordings, and affidavits sworn under oath, seemed to connect the president himself directly to top-tier financial manipulation and political strong-arming. Some of the most damning reports indicate that Ramaphosa not only had knowledge of illicit campaign finance activity but actually assisted in covering up the sources so that it would not come under examination. If these allegations are found to be true, it's not merely a political embarrassment, it's the type of embarrassment that could widen into a full-fledged criminal case, one that could culminate with the president himself being on trial. With every point Biza presented her evidence, the parliament was becoming untenable. ANC members screamed over each other in outrage and shock, their indignation at the very temerity of the charges. Opposition parties, however, rose in support, calling for Parliament to order an independent inquiry at once. A number of MPs went as far as calling for Ramaphosa's resignation on the spot, their voices ringing louder than the tempest in the chamber. Others, especially those who supported the president, tried to belittle Bizarre's accusations as mere politically driven revenge. The tension reached such a peak that security was almost called to calm the situation, and the Speaker of Parliament had a hard time keeping order as the chamber descended into verbal combat. That was when it dawned on everyone watching, this was not another political spat. This was the start of what could be a historic showdown for South Africa's top office. While not all the documents were released, some of the presentation highlights of Bizarre have already seeped into the public sphere. These included internal ANC correspondence that indicated coordination among Ramaphosa's campaign team and rich foreign financiers, a blatant breach of campaign finance regulations, banking transactions associated with shell companies said to be used to launder dirty money before depositing it in campaign accounts, legal letters stating that Ramaphosa had been repeatedly briefed on the danger of public exposure but remained silent rather than being held to account, and most damning of all, perhaps a secretly recorded audio conversation between Ramaphosa and his senior advisor discussing supposedly how to discredit whistleblowers and close down ongoing investigations. If one of these allegations withstands judicial scrutiny, the consequences for the president are apocalyptic. Not only can he expect political repercussions, but also criminal charges from corruption and obstruction of justice to campaign finance violations. Impeachment calls are already resonating through the halls of power and the momentum in their favor is increasing by the hour. Remarkably, while Parliament called for explanations, Ramaphosa himself was quiet. He left the proceedings without refuting Bizarre's allegations, leaving his defense in the hands of a few spokespersons who trumpeted the allegations as baseless and politically engineered. Silence is not working, however. The South African people are demanding answers, and even some of Ramaphosa's closest supporters are said to be scrambling for cover, not knowing whether they should stand by him or keep their distance. This bombshell could very well be the watershed moment. The ANC, which was already burdened with decades of corruption scandals, internal factional battles, and declining public confidence, now sees its very existence threatened. If the charges against Ramaphosa hold water, it won't be the president alone who suffers. It may precipitate a complete collapse of the ruling party's credibility, compelling South Africans to rethink their political future. For years, the ANC has styled itself as the Party of Liberation, the Party of Mandela, the party that led South Africa out of the apartheid shadows, but in recent years, that legacy has been smeared by corruption charges, favoritism, and sheer incompetence. The shock revelations laid bare in Parliament can destroy whatever moral high ground the party still occupies. This is a seismic moment, a moment of rumor turned to revelation, of suspicion turned to shock. South Africans are now seeing the potential fall of a sitting president and the revealing of a political machinery that has run amok for too long. It is not just a test of Ramaphosa's leadership, but also of South Africa's institutions, its parliament, and its people. The country is on the brink of a political precipice. The disclosures have caused an earthquake, but its aftershocks are only just starting. In the next few weeks, the world will look on to see what South Africa does. Will Ramaphosa own up and address the charges directly? Will Parliament step up and do its constitutional mandate? Or will the power machinery once more discover a means of suppressing the truth beneath red tape and propaganda? We'll be with you every step of the way to provide you with every update as it unfolds. The truth is no longer hidden, it's out there. Now it's in the people, the courts, and the political will of this country's hands to determine what's next. So don't forget to subscribe, ring the notification bell, and like this video if you think in making leaders accountable. Share this with your family, your friends, and your networks, because this is the time South Africa needs to wake up. The whispers are over. The truth has come.